I was very impressed with their team, with their coaching staff, and they're going to make some noise this year. There's no question about that. I was very happy, especially in the second half, with our team. We talked a couple things we thought we had to do to win the game. We knew it was going to be a four-quarter game. We had to eliminate explosive plays, win on third down, and control the line of scrimmage. Well, obviously in the first half, we lost the explosive play battle. They got two big ones on us, and that kept them in the game. We were able to run the football, but then we'd get boggled down and end up having to kick field goals, and then ultimately be able to control the line of scrimmage. And at halftime, that's what we talked about. We said we had to be able to do a few of those things in the second half. Well, we didn't give up a big play, and then Christian made the big play that we had to have to keep him out of the end zone. Take it over to the offense, and I don't know what the time of possession was the second half, but I see on the stat sheet we had it for 39 minutes. You don't have to score 50 points if you're going to hold the thing for 39 minutes. If you hold it for 39 minutes, you're wearing them down a little bit, and that's what we wanted to do. And I was really pleased with Coach Polasek in the second half. He called an unbelievable second half. Our kids ran hard, but it was a great win, and that's, you guys know it, that's a special group of young men in there. And I am blessed and fortunate to be able to coach those guys, and more importantly, be around them every day and have my kids and my family around them every day, because that's a neat group in there that they know the run, the ride they're on, and they're a humble bunch of guys, and they're going to be unbelievably successful continuing this season and on into everything that they do because of what they believe in. So I'll take any questions.
Today, obviously, don't want to lean on him for 5 field goals. Just talk about his performance.
Yeah, you know, you don't want to lean on him for 5 field goals, but he was awesome today. He was spot on today. He's kicking with so much confidence, and last year he wasn't. Even though he had a phenomenal year kicking last year, he just wasn't ever healthy, and so he had the off-season surgery and came back stronger than ever and more confident than ever. And he's got a great rapport with Ben, and I thought Fish was really good today, and obviously that was the difference in the game, was being able to make sure and get those points.
What's your assessment, Chris, after 4-0, 4 non-conference games going into, your assessment so far?
We couldn't be happier with where we're at 4-0. I don't know if a lot of people outside of our room thought we would be 4-0 with all the changes that have transpired in the last since December or January, but we are 4-0. I'm happy that we're 4-0. We've got a lot of work to do. You know, Tim's so mad at himself because our red zone offense wasn't very good. That's what you want from an offensive coordinator. Carson's frustrated because we didn't get touchdowns and we got field goals. But one thing is, these kids will stay hungry, guys. They will stay hungry, and they'll continue to work. Now we get to the meat and the heart of our schedule in conference.
Coach, what can you say about the fact you only had one negative rushing play all day?
It's news to me. That's great. I mean, that's what you try to avoid, is the 2nd and 12s and 2nd and 13s, and that tells me the guys up front, the Rams, were doing a great job of winning the line of scrimmage, and it makes the play calling so much easier for Tim as well.
The team hasn't allowed a second half score this season. Talk about the adjustments and the way you guys look at defense in the second half.
Well, we try to learn from what we saw in the first half, because a lot of teams will come in with a game plan and settle into something, and then in the second half come back to some of the things that were successful, and we hope to be able to make those adjustments. But, you know, give credit to our players. They communicate on the sideline. They communicate at halftime. They make a lot of the adjustments, as well as us as coaches trying to make the adjustments. But, you know, we're fortunate. Christian made an unbelievable play today to keep them out of the end zone, or they probably potentially get that one in. So it's amazing that we haven't allowed a second half point. I agree with what you're saying, Jamal. I don't know, but just these kids, I mean, they're resilient.
Chris, you mentioned that they know the ride they're on right now. Can you comment on how they're dealing with the fact that 28-game win streak lingering over all of this?
Yeah, they're dealing with it. I mean, we don't talk about it. That's the great thing. We don't talk about it. We prepare. Our routine never changes. Here's what we do on Monday. Here's what we do on Tuesday. Here's what we do on Wednesday and Thursday. Our routine is our routine. And then once we get to Friday, it all comes together and we talk about what we have to do to win. We always have keys to victory: offense, defense, special teams. So we never hopefully try to get caught up into that stuff. Now, it's more probably social media that they hear, because they're not hearing it in our staff room. They're not hearing it at practice. All we're talking about is how we can get better. You guys know our league. Shoot, we got to battle our tail off to win any games in our league, because our league's really good this year.
Any injuries?
I just saw Bobby, and I don't believe so.
Did that have a playoff feel like you thought it would today?
Absolutely, it was. It was a physical game, well played by both teams.
Was it frustration at halftime with the offense that you were moving the ball seemingly at will and had to only get field goals out of that?
Yeah, they were frustrated, but once again, give Montana credit. They did some good things to stop us. Yeah, it was frustrating, but in the same respect, we were able to come away with points. All but the one time, we were able to come away with points. And in a game like this, you got to make sure and take the points when you can. And even when getting it to 19-10, it gave us that 2-score lead. Our defense plays at a different mentality when we have a 2-score lead.
Talk about in your opening remarks, but how important was it to impose your will on that first drive in the second half? It was all runs except for the touchdown.
Yeah, it was two things. One, we said we had to get off the field on third down for our defense. That was the thing. We had to get the ball back to our offense, because we didn't do that late in the second quarter. They drove it on us, and I know they got the field goal at the end, but we had to make sure and get 3 and out, and we did. And then our offense, I thought Tim was spot on, calling plays, getting it down there, and then the touchdown. Great play by Carson and a great play by Kevin Vodlin. That's a veteran tight end that found the open spot, and a quarterback with a ton of poise that said, we're going to get 7 here.
How long you waited to put Dudzic out on offense? Was this the right matchup you thought?
It was the right time. We've talked about it. We've worked it in a few times, but it was just, we got to expand on it a little bit more. We'll throw it to him a time or two, unless Carson doesn't want to, unless Duds maybe doesn't catch it or something very often. But no, we got to utilize him. He's a special talent that we've got to find a way to get the ball to him in the open field.
In a game like this, talk about how important it is not to have a turnover.
Oh, it's critical. That was the thing. We had to get the turnover, and we talk about the takeaways. We were able to get that one in the second half. That really changed the momentum, I thought, because when it was, I think at that time, was it 19-10, and they're taking it down to potentially score to go 19-17. Then I didn't know if we were going to be in more of a shootout, but where it took place, in the red zone, in the back of the end zone, and it wasn't like a freebie pick. Duds made a big-time play, an All-American type play.